Mhm.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. You are watching Max Speed TV. Tonight on tap here, it's the Ohio IndyCar League, the season finale here from Miami. It's going to be one quick race here. These boys are about to get tuned up right now. They're in the driver's meeting, but I will be your host here tonight. My name is Roger Muth. I got a co-host up here with me tonight, Chris Legoo. Chris?
Yeah, Roger, thanks very much for having me out here tonight. Looking forward to 150 laps here in Miami. Can't wait to see these Indy cars blasting through the corners. Nothing sticks better than an Indy.
Yeah, you say nothing sticks better than an Indy. Some of these guys, though, we were talking to them in the pre-race here. They were having a little bit of trouble coming off the corners. If you're in the wake of another car, I heard these drivers get that big arrow push. So we're gonna have to pay attention to that here tonight. But like Chris was talking about just moments ago, 150 laps here tonight from Homestead-Miami. It's gonna be 225 miles. I got the tire window and the fuel window right about the same, 27 laps to about 34 laps. Pit road speed here at Miami is always one of those tracks that you have to watch out for, as you have to use the access road coming in and you have to use the access road coming out. So that's going to play havoc on these guys here tonight. Pit road speed, once they get down off those access roads, will be 45 miles. Well, tonight's one of those also big moments for these guys here with the Ohio IndyCar League. Like we said, it is the last race of the season. So right here is your point standings for the Ohio IndyCars. There's your top 10 drivers. Doug Kennedy coming into tonight with 176 points. Brandon Carl, who actually I do not see out here, who is second in points. I don't see him out in the lobby tonight with 160, so he's 16 points back. Ken Ackley, who's in third place in points right now, he is out there on track. He's sitting right now fourth on your board. He's 25 points back. So right there, those three drivers are going to be competing for the championship, winner take all, because they do have some money on the lines over here with the Ohio IndyCar League. Everybody else from third on back, which is Jeremy Watkins, Jeff Murray, Tim Riggins, uh, Raul Alvarez, David Leclerc, DJ Daniel, and Mike Keeler are going to round out your top 10. So those are your top 10 drivers here. But the points battle, that's going to actually go between Kennedy and Ackley here tonight.
Yeah, unfortunately, Carl doesn't look like he's going to be making the start here tonight, Roger, and that's going to end his chances. And really, Ackley is going to have a pretty good battle on his hands trying to take over the top spot in points. Total number of points, max total number of points possible, 33. So that's going to leave not a lot of room for error tonight.
Yeah, Ackley's really going to need Kennedy here to kind of falter here at Miami for the finale to snatch that win away. And the points championship is right there. You saw practice is ending. We're about to get ready here for the qualifying session. These drivers have 10 minutes to go out there and put in a screaming qualifying attempt. Nobody going to be jumping out here right away. Right there, you see it on the left-hand side. That's where our qualifying times. There's only 9 drivers here for the finale. So they do have 3 laps for 10 minutes. First taker that's going to go out there is going to be the driver in the 69 car. That looks like David Leclerc is going to come out here on the track and be the first one to try and put in a time. A bunch of other guys kind of scrambling. I see him gritting up here. Nobody else yet out on the track, really. Dave works down the backstretch into turn 3 here on his first lap. You see him running that outside line. Dave Leclerc, one of those electronic geeks, one of those tech guys, so he would fit in pretty well here between Chris and myself in the booth. Hope we can hopefully talk to him towards the end of the day, as you see his first time lap going up on the board right there with a 25.734, but he's going to be quickly bumped by the number 60 of Mike Keeler.
Yeah, Mike Keeler, I was watching that lap, and he was pretty darn fast. Similar lines, and that results in a similar speed. And you see Jeremy Watkins right now comes in and takes over, and it switches again back to Ken Ackley and switches again to David Leclerc. So things are happening very quick here in this qualifying session.
Things always happen quick when you talk about these guys that are out there in the IndyCar. Chris, this is my first time ever broadcasting the IndyCar. I believe you're a little more familiar with how these guys or how these cars handle. But from what I can tell is we're up over 110 miles an hour. We're looking at about 220 on the straightaway.
Yeah, and that's about right. 220 in these cars is... I have more experience driving them than I do broadcasting them. And I'll tell you, at 220, the trees are going by so fast you can't see them. You have to pay a lot of attention out there. Make sure that you hit your marks when you turn into the corners. One bad move and you're out of the line, and that can spell disaster.
Points leader in the championship right now, out on track. Driver of the number 88, Doug Kennedy, out here, still getting up to his up the pace lap here. Has not put in a time yet for the 88 machine. 6 guys out of the 9 guys have put in time so far, as you see him on the left-hand side. Jeff Murray right now in the hot seat on the pole. David Leclerc right now second. Ken Ackley there in third. Raul Alvarez in fourth. Jeremy Watkins fifth. Mike Keeler in sixth. And Doug Kennedy, who just put in his first lap, not quite up to speed just yet. Not full song and dance with a 25.468. As you see, that driver of the 88, he was using a little bit of a different line. He was a little bit lower than what we've seen a lot of these guys, as he goes fourth on his second lap. Now he's right down there towards the bottom of the track.
You know, Kennedy might just be searching for a line that he's going to use during the race too. Qualifying is important, but it's not everything. And when you're talking about a long race, which we do have in store here, 150 miles around this 1.5 mile track, or 150 laps, excuse me, they're going to have some time to work. So he may just be trying to figure out where that car is comfortable out there on its own, and maybe storing that information away to use it later on.
Absolutely, and right there, the driver of the 88 put down a little bit better of a lap. He went a 25.128, so that's going to slot him fourth on the boards. There's one more driver out here right now. That's going to be the 41 there of Rich Shannon. Rich, his first lap, like the rest of these guys, first lap a little bit slower, as you see him down towards the bottom where Kennedy was. But Shannon's first lap here is going to be 25.458. Tony Clothran is not on, or he's on grid, but has not gone out here to attempt a qualifying lap just yet, as he has 5 minutes and 20 seconds to go out there. These guys do get a 10-minute qualifying session. You saw that on board there as we went through turns 1 and 2 with the driver of the 41. You can just see how fast these guys are really moving, even in through the corners at, 209 miles an hour, 210, 11 miles an hour coming through turns 3 and 4 there. So they are out there moving, and this is all by themselves. Wait till we put all 9 drivers out there on track and see what they can do in a dance, or a little draft package if they can dance, as the 41's going to come into turns 1 and 2 on his last lap. He's going to throw her sideways, so that's going to pretty much end his chances to improve his times, as he's 7th on the board right now. And the driver of the 03, the last driver here to take qualifying tonight, is the 03 of Tony Clothran.
Yeah, Tony in the 03 GoPro, and he's trying to set up for his first lap, setting it up a little higher on the track, trying to keep the momentum up as he builds speed in that vehicle still. Roger does apologize, he has a cold. And you didn't hear what I was talking about.
All right, so Tony on his first lap, he's going to go with a 25.761 here. So that GoPro machine still not up to full song and dance. He's going to get there yet. He has 2 more laps to better himself here from 9th place on the starting grid. 9th place won't be all that bad, though, as only 9 drivers here tonight for the Miami finale for the Ohio Indy League.
The one thing I heard during the drivers' meeting, since I was listening in, if there is a caution tonight, there will be single file restarts on any caution. So that's right out of the rule book for the IndyCar series. That makes it fun. These guys nose to tail, and then you see them when it goes green. They'll spread out, trying to take advantage. If they are truly following IndyCar rules, it is legal to pass on the outside only before you cross the start-finish line. So it's something definitely to watch out for here. If there's a caution, From what we were told, we're not going to see that. And we're going to go ahead now and take it to the Star Spangled Banner.
Yeah, so don't go away, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be right back here with your starting grid for the Ohio IndyCar League for the season finale.
We take you down onto the track for our opening ceremonies.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise. Please remove your hats.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous flight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. You haven't missed anything as qualifying is still counting down. We got about 28 seconds here left in qualifying. All 9 drivers who are here to participate in the season finale for the Ohio IndyCar League have taken a qualifying attempt. So we will have 9 drivers that taken a qualifying attempt and 9 drivers who will grid here to see who's going to bring home the last win of the season before the for the last win of the 2018 season. I'll get my words right here sooner or later. So we got 5 seconds left here. Chris, what are you expecting tonight out of these guys?
I'm expecting a clean race, and I'm hoping for some pack racing. That's my secret hope. And typically that's what you see. You'll probably see them break into 2 different groups, maybe 3, and there'll be some racing within those groups. And draft is going to be something to watch out for. That push that you were talking about earlier, something to watch out for. And speed. It's going to be incredibly fast. If there's no caution, this should be done very, very quickly tonight.
Well, we're not hoping, or we hope they don't get done too quickly, but hope they are able to put on one heck of a show here for the season finale, because the Ohio IndyCar, Chris, as you and I both well know, is they are a partner over here at MaxSpeedTV, so we appreciate every chance that we get to broadcast these guys, as they're only once a month, and they're only on the second week of every month. But as these guys are about to grid up, let's see if we can work through your MaxSpeedTV starting lineup here for the Ohio Indy starts for the season finale. It looks like the 23, Jeff Murray, is going to start here on pole. Driver of the 69 there in second place is going to be David Leclerc. Third place here tonight, the number 98, Ken Ackley. Fourth place on the starting grid is going to go to the driver of the 03, Tony Clothran. Fifth place here tonight, going to be your points leader, the driver of the 88, Doug Kennedy. Raul Alvarez, the only driver from the overseas. He's across the pond over there in Madrid, Spain. He's going to roll off in your 6th spot here tonight. Seventh place is going to go to the driver of the 19, Jeremy Watkins. The 41 of Rich Shannon going to roll 8th. And rounding out the field here tonight is going to be the driver of the number 60, Mike Keeler.
As these cars start getting behind the Porsche, this is going to be the only time they do line up like this. Roger, this is going to be exciting. This is the best start of any racing series that I've ever seen. I absolutely love how Indy gets it going. A rolling start. These cars are very, very fast, and you'll hear them go up the gears very quickly. Man, this is it. I'm getting ready.
As Chris is getting ready, as they're working through turns 3 and 4 for the first time here behind the pace car. They're about to let these bad boys loose. They're going to be wound up here going 200 miles an hour plus. So anybody tuning in out there on YouTube, we appreciate it. The Ohio IndyCar League, they also appreciate it. As right there, we see the Porsche. He makes that left-hand turn. The green flag is racing for the season finale here from the Miami Speedway for the Ohio IndyCar League.
And they are off 3 wide already, Roger, going into 1 and 2. My goodness.
3 wide down into turn 1 and 2. Jeff Murray's going to be the guy that's going to come off turn 2, though, with the lead, but he's going to go side by side with the driver on the outside. That's going to be the 69 of Dave Leclerc going to the outside. Well, the driver of that 69, Dave Leclerc, he was to the outside, but he went straight to the inside there coming off turn 4. He wanted nothing to do with the outside. He drove that car right underneath Jeff Murray, and he's going to lead the first lap here for the season finale.
Yeah, Murray with an incredible move to the inside, and you watch these cars, they jump left and right so quickly. Watching right now, David Leclerc in the 69, just doing everything he can do to stay out there. And he's got a little challenge coming up from behind. That's Tony Cothran in the 3, now down below in the corner.
Clothrin
like
in the
Tony
03 there, going back to the front, going to the front for the first time. The GoPro machine now going to lead the way as they work down the backstretch, but the 69 of Leclerc is going to battle right there on that left or the right rear tire, trying not to let Clothrin get away from him. This time off turn 4, though, it looks like Tony's going to bring it back to the line. He's going to lead it. We still have a 6-car breakaway. We have 3 cars back there tagging behind the field. As these guys are getting a little spread out now. I think you got to go back here to, it looks like the driver of the 98, Ken Ackley, side by side there, and they've worked that out. Now they go back single file. Looks like Murray's going to go 3rd, Ackley 4th, Kennedy 5th. Is now Ackley looking possibly going to the outside. Maybe he got that arrow push we were talking about in pre-race.
Yeah, it certainly looked like it, but the battle's still on for first place right now. Tony Cothran and David Leclerc battling each other hard, and it looks like Leclerc finally settles down, comes back in line, pops right back up on the outside, coming down the corner.
As they are side by side once again. Great racing we have here with the Ohio IndyCar League as they're going side by side battles all over. You know, 1 second we're talking about they're going to single file out, and then next thing you know, popping out just like that. Leclerc pops back out to the right side going down the front stretch here. We're already 6 laps in here at the 150.
Laps are kicking off pretty quick. These cars move down that back stretch about 220 to 228 miles an hour, depending on what they're doing in the draft. Heading into the corner right now, it's Leclerc on the outside, Cothran defending on the inside, and Jeff Murray right behind, kind of by himself right now in 3rd. And the 3 cars behind him, Kennedy, Ackley, and Alvarez, they're single file, so they're trying to draft up. And now, just as I say that, it looks like they have one popping out just a little bit there.
Yeah, drafting these cars do play a big factor as you work down these long straightaways here at Miami. But as we're 7 laps in here, it's almost about that time. You're kind of thinking, you know, if I can just sit back here and draft like the driver of the 98 of Ken Ackley, is he possibly saving fuel by staying back there and not popping out here like David Leclerc and Tony Cothran battling it out here in the front?
Well, you can definitely save fuel in these cars. You have plenty of gears to do it, and we got a battle again. It's Leclerc and Cothran. They are not letting go of each other here.
Yeah,
Leclerc
it looks like
again
just
settles down.
Just about every time we go into the corner, they want to pop side by side, and right there they are. They're almost wheeled, literally touching wheel to wheel as they went down into turn 1. That's something you, in these open wheel cars, you want to try and stay away from. You don't want to be wheel to wheel with each other, really. It's, you know, one of those figurative terms that we do use here quite often when we say wheel to wheel battling, but in IndyCar, you go wheel to wheel. Most likely, you're both going around.
Yeah, and even worse in the IndyCar, they have a tendency to go up in the air. Those wings really help propel them up if there's any issue with tires touching, and that's certainly not something that we're looking forward to seeing. These cars, it's amazing. You watch them. We got Cothran going around.
driver of the 03, Tony Clothrin, going to be spun from the lead. He's going to hit the inside wall, so no caution's going to be thrown. A bunch of damage, though, to the front end of that machine. Let's see if we can take it back on a MaxSpeedTV replay and see what exactly happened here to the driver of the 03. The 03 was out front there, leading this race. He was out front for 7 laps. Let's see if we go back here. There's your picture. Let's see what happens as they work down the backstretch. You see just that the driver of the 69, Leclerc, just kind of gets to the back bumper. Wasn't the best angle for the replay. Let's see if we can go back and just try and find one from above here for you guys so you can see exactly what happened. Looks like David Leclerc got one heck of a run and just tried to kind of pop out and found the rear end of the 03, and around Tony went to the inside.
That is a shame, as the 03 car is damaged heavily. He's going to have to use that one quick repair that they have here, Roger. You got one tire that's not even touching the ground right now. He blows just a little bit by his pits. He's able to back up, now getting service on the 03 car.
As Tony Crawford, you see him right there in pit lane. He's down and away, so he's going to have 4 fresh tires, but he's going to be 2 laps down, and possibly by the time he comes out on the backstretch with these guys drafting the way they are, he could possibly end up 3 laps down before you know it. The battle, though, is out front here between the 23 of Jeff Murray there on the outside and the 69 of Leclerc. Now Leclerc's going to fall back and just try and get that draft there.
Well, good job by Tony Crawford to not bring out the yellow, but he's suffering mightily now as he is 2 laps down. Only advantage he has 2 no laps on those tires. So you got to take something out of that, and he's going to have some speed that maybe the other guys don't have. He's got to be able to find draft, though. You have to have a drafting partner here.
15 lap, or working lap number 15 here out of the 150 schedule as we go on board with David Leclerc right now going down the backstretch. You don't see any damage really to that front wing. I was expecting maybe a little bit. You see him only in 5th gear as he works through the corner. Just kind of riding right now behind the 23 of Jeff Murray, so Leclerc might be falling back possibly to make a run. And well, as we're talking about the top 2 guys here, look who's now in your 3rd position. The driver of the 88, Doug Kennedy, has now found his way to the 3rd position. Started a little ways back. Let's see if we pull that driver bar, get you. He started in his 5th position and kind of rode there for a little bit.
Yeah, Doug Kennedy doing what he needs to do to try and win the championship and maybe even win the race here tonight.
Go 1 position behind him. That's the guy he's battling really in the point standing, as that's going to be your 3rd place in points, but 4th place on track. The driver of the 98, Ken Ackley, started in 3rd, and he's lost a position here, so Doug has got the upper hand on him right now, but still have a long way to go here from Miami. In about 10 laps, you're going to be looking at your first green flag pit stops here for the Indy cars. As right now, it looks like, thought I saw possibly a lap car coming up, but that could have just been actually Jeff Murray getting away from these guys. We're used to seeing them close together. Right now, Jeff Murray extending that lead about a half-second gap now back to the driver of the 69, Leclerc.
And that's not something I was expecting to see. Usually it's going to be a 2 car to peel away, but a single, I was not expecting that at all. Jeff may have been protecting his tires at the start of this race, but right now he is out front, and that gap's 7/10 of a second, Roger.
Yeah, the battle really is actually for your 2nd position, as everybody else has kind of got away from each other. You were hoping to see pack racing, but these guys have pretty much single filed out and spread out, as you know, it's 150 laps here, so a long way to go.
As we're working lap 20 right now, pit stops are around the corner. And Jeffrey Murray is just pulling away from the 2 cars behind him, Leclerc and Kennedy. Behind them, they have Ken Ackley, and Ken's kind of driving by himself, but he does have the ability to kind of sneak up into that draft. So he's not far enough back where the draft isn't helping him. Maybe he's doing it on purpose. That's the only thing I can think of right now.
Yeah, the driver of the number 9, Raul Alvarez, the guy from Spain here in 5th. He's up from 6th place, so he's moved up 1 spot here tonight. The driver of the 41 is in 6th place. It's going to be Rich Shannon. He's up from 8th to 6th right now, but he's got it looks like a 3-second gap to the leader. So he's going to have to, in the second half of this race, kind of step it up a little bit, try and work his way inside your top 5 towards the leader. Jeremy Watkins in the 19th, started 7th, still running in your 7th spot. Mike Keeler back here in the number 60, started 9th up to 8th right now. So he's just hanging on to the back of this field, and the unfortunate guy who we saw go around and hit the inside wall, the 03 of Tony Cothran, is going to started towards the front of the field here in 4th, now back in 9th position. He's on the track, but 2 laps down.
Yeah, Murray is flexing his muscles. He's got that 1.5 second gap now back to 2nd place, David Leclerc. And Kennedy is managing to stay right on the back bumper, basically, of Leclerc. Just out of reach of trying to make a pass. And maybe that's part of the strategy. They know pit stops are around the corner. These tires are probably starting to feel a little bit old. And maybe they don't want to take the chances they were taking earlier with that hard driving left and right, pulling on that steering wheel. That will hurt the tires. So maybe that's what we're seeing right now. Just a little bit of relaxing before that first pit stop.
Let's go on board here with the driver of the 88 and go for a lap. It's a little far out here on the camera angle, but that's what these drivers can see. You see these guys having to start to lift now once they go down to the corner. Back outside the car, because that looks a lot better for us here. Kennedy still following right in the wake there of the number 69 Leclerc, as that's the battle for 2nd and 3rd position. Working lap 27 here out of 150. About to see green flag pit stops like we were talking about a little while ago. Right now, the guy who wants it just to pretty much stay green and have a great pit stop, it's going to be Jeff Murray, because he is running away. Now the gap is up to a 2.66 second lead over Leclerc.
Now, one thing I noticed while we were on board the 88 of Doug Kennedy, Doug is keeping it in 5th gear all around the track now. There is an extra gear there, but choosing not to use it right now is Kennedy.
Yeah, Kennedy not choosing to use the gear, but back here there's a little bit of a battle going on between the 9 of Alvarez and Shannon back here, the 9 and the 41. The 9 trying to hold the line, and it looks like the 41 just kind of wants to peek out occasionally to try and go around him, and then the 9 kind of shuts the door on him.
Yeah, right now Shannon to the inside in the 41, looking to try and take advantage as they head into the corner. He does, and right now he's got a little bit of advantage, and on the outside the momentum is going to carry Alvarez back into 5th place, but Shannon had a chance, just not able to make it stick.
And that's your battle for 5th and 6th right now. Alvarez has it, Shannon wants it. Possibly, you know, Shannon's been back here. I'll spit it out sooner or later. Shannon's been back here kind of just running in the wake, so as he saved the tires, as he knows it's getting towards the end of the fuel stop here, trying to use up what you got.
Jeff Murray out front, 3.866 seconds. That car on a rail. Jeff Murray, he could come in anytime. He has no pressure at all. He's going to have the easiest entry on the pit road. Absolutely nobody behind him. Doesn't have to be looking in his mirror, making sure nobody's right there to hit him maybe if he gets on his brakes. So Jeff Murray has put himself in a very, very strong position, as now the gap is 4.1.
Jeff Murray has about a half straightaway lead right now over David Leclerc and Doug Kennedy, and those two drivers are nose to tail, but nowhere for them to go. 32 laps in the book here for the season finale. Got some great pictures here of these guys out there running. This is what it's all about. These guys like to come out here and compete hard nose, and that's what we saw early on, and we've seen the cream kind of rise to the top here with Jeff Murray pulling out to a 5-second lead now.
David Leclerc and Doug Kennedy coming down pit road on the long entrance.
Looks like David Leclerc is going to get her woed up. Actually, it seems like we missed a couple guys. It looks like Ken Ackley also came down pit road a lap ago, along with the 41 of Shannon. Those two are now going to complete their pit stops. They're going to get back out there on track. But Kennedy and Leclerc, and it looks like Alvarez and Keeler also all down pit road. So that's going to leave Jeremy Watkins, who's on the access road. And here comes your leader, Jeff Murray, also coming down pit road. So everybody, all 9 drivers now would be completing their first pit stop here tonight. Tony Clothran, who was the first one down pit road on lap 15 when he was spun on the backstretch. You see it right there, the driver of that 23 hitting his pit box. He has the first stall there. Watkins also on pit road as he comes to a complete stop now. Looks like Tony Clothran also coming down pit road, and he actually missed his pit stop. Jeff Murray is already down and away. He's on the access road coming out on the backstretch. Pretty quick stop there. It looks like the 23 of Murray, he was 31.4 seconds from the time he hit the entrance of pit road to the time he came off pit road. And from my timing and scoring, I believe that's going to be actually the fastest guy down pit road, so he's going to retain quite a bit of a good lead here, as right now it's 3.1 seconds as he's still trying to get up to speed. So David Leclerc, who is in second, is going to chew that down just a little bit. But once Murray gets back up to full song and dance, he'll probably start walking away again, I expect.
It may take a couple of extra laps. We're going to have to watch that battle. The only reason why I say that, now we're on fresh tires, and fresh tires makes a very big difference in these cars. And you're probably not going to experience the push quite as bad as, say, 15 or so laps into the run. So this would be the time. If Leclerc can catch him, this would be the time to try and put some pressure on the Murray.
Yeah, as you see Leclerc using that inside lane to his advantage right now, as he has nobody around him at all, nobody to worry about. The driver of the 88, Doug Kennedy, did come in right behind Leclerc, but right now, Kennedy having a really bad stop, spent 42.3 seconds on pit lane, so that's going to move him from running third all the way to 7th. So we're going to have to watch and see how Kennedy comes back through the field. He's 17.7 seconds behind your race leader here. And the guy that he has to stay close to and doesn't want to win this event here tonight, that's going to be the driver of the 98, Ken Ackley. And Ackley's running third with Rich Shannon, who was running in your 7th position, coming in there on those pit stops. Now he's running right behind Ackley in 4th.
Yeah, Shannon had a pretty good pit stop, as the timing indicates, and more importantly, out on track is indicating it too. Is right now he is trying to battle Ken Ackley for 3rd.
As he's looking to the outside right now of Ken Ackley, trying to use the high lane, trying to keep the momentum up. Didn't have it when he went into turn 3 there. He kind of had to duck back in right behind him, as they're going to go nose to tail here going down the front stretch once again. As you see it, though, every time they go into the corner, you kind of see Shannon there pop to the outside of Ackley, trying to get air on the front end of that car to make it turn, because we did here, and we have seen it. Once you get right behind somebody coming off the corner, it's going to push a little bit, and right there you see the 41 having to take it a little bit different line there, because Ackley chose to go a little higher than normal that time through the corner.
Yeah, you actually saw Shannon dive down a little bit closer to that white line as he was trying to find air to push down in that front wing, and then he had to move up as Ackley was moving down. So it's definitely a dance out there in these cars, and Shannon's really trying to put the pressure on Ackley right now. He's just having trouble getting to that back bumper.
Yeah, these guys are going to go just about side by side again down into the corner, but not so, as it looks like the driver of the 41 backs off just a little bit as they enter the corner, maybe just lifting, trying to save what he has, because he was coming on towards the end of that first run, and right now he has 9 laps on his tires. So getting into another tire run here, 43 laps this time by are going to be in the books for these guys here, so almost halfway, not quite yet.
Shannon and Ackley are doing a great job. This is what racing is right here. One guy has a position, another guy has to try and figure out a way around. Shannon is doing everything he can to try and get around Ackley, but with that aero push, you have to be so careful. The thing you don't want to have happen is those front tires that kind of come free of the track because the wing loses air. If that happens, you can kiss your night goodbye because you're going to hit the wall.
Green flag racing so far for the first 44 laps here for the season finale. And what a race it's pretty much been. I mean, we've seen some single file racing, but we've seen some really good racing, you know, side by side and nose to tail. And these two guys are continuing that trend here for the battle for third place. Ackley has it, Shannon wants it, as they see those two are really close that time going down the front stretch down into turn 1 and 2.
Now, Shannon, I think, does have the faster car right now. He just cannot figure out a way to get around Ackley clean.
And that's what you have to do, especially in these cars. You got to be cautious, and you gotta race each other clean. You don't want to have a situation like you had earlier between Leclerc and Tony Cawthron, as Cawthron actually has moved up a position since we've been watching this battle. As that time, Shannon really high, almost up against the wall that time. I'm not sure that's the line he exactly wanted to run. Well, looks like this battle right here between these two are kind of looks like Ackley's getting the upper hand as he's kind of pulled away just a little bit. Let's check back up front with your race leader. Jeff Murray did just put the number 60, the yellow car, right behind him, a lap down. That's going to actually be 3 laps down for the driver of the 60. Mike Keeler not having the speed in that 60 car. Not sure if something happened on his pit stop. I'm looking at his times. Only looks like maybe spent 5 seconds longer on pit road than your leader. But possibly just something on the access road, not you know, having issues all around. But he's going to sit right there behind the 23 of Jeff Murray and catch the draft, and that's going to allow him to stay there.
Well, we do have word that starting in the first race of next month, Roger, it's going to be Pocono for these guys.
It is going to be Pocono for the first race of the 2019 season for the Ohio IndyCar League, which is going to be the second week in January, I heard. They're going to go to Pocono, and I know a guy out there on track who's actually looking forward to that. That's going to be your leader of Jeff Murray, because Jeff Murray, he is a Pennsylvania native himself. He lives out there in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and he enjoys NASCAR, so I'm sure he's been to Pocono. Is, if anybody's from Pennsylvania, Pocono is one of those tracks that you kind of have to go see, because that's a very long track, and the Indy cars themselves do show up at Pocono. We did see an unfortunate incident last time the Indy guys were at Pocono, but it's one of those sites that you have to see. It's almost like saying I'm going to go to Talladega.
It is a different configuration for sure as far as tracks go, and different. I can't say this is different. Ackley and Shannon still going at it. Shannon had closed the gap to a little less than 1/10 of a second, but with the air issue across that front wing, wasn't able to pull out in a comfortable enough way to try and make a pass on Ackley, and Ackley starts walking away again. So Shannon is backing up to maybe go forward, and I think that's what we saw the last time. Ackley was able to get ahead just a little bit. Shannon was able to reel him back in by using the draft, and that works right up until you get a little too close. Once you get that, that's where that aero push happens, and you have to be very careful around these corners. We've said it multiple times. It can be extremely dangerous going around these corners in these cars if you have no air across that front wing.
The other strategy play that could be coming in here is, did Shannon use up his tires on the 41? Was he being too aggressive on the early going? Because now these guys are out there 21 laps for Ackley and Shannon on the tire run. So possibly maybe a little tire usage too soon for the 41, and that's allowing Ackley to possibly pulling away just a bit here. David Leclerc, though, still running in that second position in the 69. He's holding a 4-second gap right now to the leader. Leclerc was involved in that little scuffle early on with Tony Cawthron in the 03. Cawthron checking up on seeing where he is at. Cawthron running right now in that 8th position, 2 laps down. So he's got 1 lap back here. Still trying to possibly work his way back to the lead lap, but without caution laps, it's going to be a task that's almost impossible here tonight.
Yeah, an extremely difficult task to try and get back 1 lap, let alone 2. So it would, I don't know, I don't see it happening unless he can, knowing that he's not out there for the win right now, the only thing I could say would be if he is out there saving gas like nobody's business, maybe he could try and shave a pit stop off, and if he could do that, well, then maybe you got a lap or 2 you can get back, but that's a tall task to ask.
Absolutely, and as I'm looking at his speeds here, it doesn't seem to be like he's trying to save any kind of fuel. I think the guy who's out there possibly trying to save fuel might have been Doug Kennedy or Jeremy Watkins, the driver of the 19 or the driver of the 88. Jeremy Watkins in the 19 right there. He's in the 6th position. Doug Kennedy actually right behind him in the 88. He's 7th.
You may be right about Jeremy Watkins trying to save fuel. I'm on board right now, just kind of watching his line, and most importantly, watching his gearbox. He is not downshifting like we've seen in a couple other cars right now. He's keeping it in 6, and that keeps the RPMs down. That's saving fuel.
Let's go on board and listen with the driver of the 19, Jeremy Watkins, as he's your 6th place runner right now. You see him just kind of in 6th. Gear rolling around. You can see a lot of tire input there, not a lot of full throttle. You kind of hear him lift as he got about halfway down the straightaway, and maybe about 70%, 80% throttle there.
Well, this is definitely a move that, being in 6th place right now, and he's what, 19 seconds from the leader, it looks like. This could catch him up a little bit going into this run.
Nine drivers took the green flag tonight. 9 drivers still out there. 7 drivers still on the lead lap. Your last place guy on the lead lap is going to be the 88, Doug Kennedy, your points leader tonight. He came in here looking for just a solid race, and in the early going before that first pit stop, the 88 was inside your top 5, but now back in 7th place, and he's actually not that far in front of your leader, because if you look, you can see every time the camera changes, right there comes Jeff. Jeff is a straightaway behind these 2 right here, so they want to definitely be getting on the horse and trying to move. Jeff Murray, still your leader. He's now got a 5.6 second gap over the 69 there of Leclerc, who's in 2nd, and then Ken Ackley is going to still be in 3rd, as the battle between Ackley and Shannon has kind of faded a little bit. Shannon quite a few car lengths back behind him now.
Yeah, so it looks like Shannon's tires may have given up on him, as they were battling pretty heavily earlier, him and Ackley. That battle seems to be over, at least for now, as we're on lap 64 of 150.
Closer to this 2nd pit stop. Any moment I'm waiting for some of these guys to come down, as they're now working lap 32 on most of them. Ackley and Shannon here are on 32 lap old tires. Your leader Murray's out there on 30, and Leclerc, who's in 2nd, out there on 31. So everybody's pretty much in that same ballpark, and I believe here they come right now. Looks like the driver of the 98 there, Ackley, coming down pit road. Shannon right behind him, and I believe I did see the 9 of Raul Alvarez also coming along with these guys. So 3rd, 4th, and 5th all coming down pit road right here for getting their 2nd pit stop done here tonight. So put them with 32 laps on their tires. So now we're going to have to watch and see how this breaks down, as they're the first guys to hit pit road here on the 2nd stop.
And just a quick note, remember last stop, Rick Shannon was actually the 2nd fastest guy on and off pit road. That's where he picked up that position, so let's see if he can do that again here.
Right now, only a handful of drivers still out there. Murray's still out there. Watkins is still out here, and so is Doug Kennedy. But Doug Kennedy actually hitting pit road right now, as you see on screen. So that's going to leave. And here comes Jeff Murray. Also, Jeff Murray right behind the driver of the 88. So first and fourth, nose to tail coming down pit road. Murray's just putting a blistering pace up here tonight. That's going to leave Jeremy Watkins out here, 33 laps on his stent, as he's going to take over the lead. He's going to lead a lap here. Trying to get all he can out of the fuel of that number 19. It's not coming down pit road this time. He's going to stay out once again. So put 34 laps on the board for the driver of the 19.
Now this is where I was talking. Yes, everybody right now is going much faster. Everybody who's come down pit road is going much faster than Jeremy Watkins on those old tires. But the point was,
right now.
Yeah, he's coming down pit road now. The point is he was able to go further than anybody else, and that's just going to keep building towards the end of the race. I don't know if it's going to be enough to cut a pit stop, but if he's comfortable doing it, there's no harm there. Jeremy Watkins coming down pit road, giving up the lead.
With Jeremy Watkins coming down pit road, that's going to turn the lead over once again. It should turn the lead over to Jeff Murray, as right there Jeff Murray goes right by him, and while Murray also regains the lead, he also puts Doug Kennedy one lap down. That's going to be the driver of the 88 right behind Kennedy as they come down the backstretch once again. David Leclerc, who was second, still is second, but now he did have a 5-second gap to him before the pit stop. Now it's up to a 6-second gap back. Ken Ackley did get a little bit of a break there. It looks like Shannon had a little bit of a little slower access road, as he's now going to fall, it looks like 3 seconds behind Ken Ackley. Raul Alvarez still running in your 5th position. Doug Kennedy moved up 1 position. He did pass Jeremy Watkins, because Watkins is now going to go to 7th on the board here, as he stayed out there the longest out of everybody, and that maybe hurt him in this short run. Possibly look for him to be able to work his way towards the front, as maybe he doesn't have to take 1 pit stop like the rest of these guys. Mike Keeler in the 60 is in your 8th position, and Tony Cawthron is back to 3 laps down, running in your 9th spot. Laps here, about to be in the books for the Ohio IndyCar League here for the season finale. Anybody tuning in over here on YouTube, thanks for tuning out or tuning in. These guys really appreciate everybody that comes out here weekend, or I shouldn't say weekend, but once a month to watch these guys run wing to wing, we're gonna say.
Murray continues out front, dominating the field, as he has led 63 laps here tonight. David Leclerc is in 2nd, 5.8 seconds behind. Ken Ackley running in 3rd in the 98 car. And Ken is about 8.5 seconds behind the race leader of Jeff Murray. Behind him, about 3 seconds, is Rich Shannon. And Rich Shannon in the 41 car, Raul Alvarez running in 5th. And again, Doug Kennedy, that is your points leader. Doug is keeping it clean, running in 6th place right now. Jeremy Watkins in the 19. We saw him stretch that fuel out. He went additional 3 laps over what the leader was able to do on that last set of tires and fuel. So Jeremy Watkins running in 7th. Mike Kiesler is running in 8th. And then Tony Cawthron in the 03. We saw him involved early on in an accident, ended up hitting the inside retaining wall. Tony is running in 9th place right now.
Green flag racing so far here from Miami. No yellows. We did see Tony go around early on in this race, but he did not bring a caution out, as he was a 1-car spin down to the inside wall off the front wing of David Leclerc. Leclerc being able to keep going and still running in 2nd, as Cawthron, unfortunately, 3 laps down, running now in your 8th position. But as Chris, you know, we've been talking for quite a while here, so we're going to go mic silent for a moment. We're going to turn the volume up and let you hear these IndyCars scream along. Back. We had to grab a quick water up here. Actually, Chris and I were getting a little perked as 83 laps are in the books now here from Miami for the IndyCar League final. That's the Ohio IndyCar League's final. Green flag the whole way so far here, Chris.
Yeah, it's been as billed, Roger. They told us it's usually green flag running, and that's exactly what we've seen. We did have one incident earlier on in the race. Did not draw the caution flag, and it involved Tony Cothran coming down, actually hitting the inside retaining wall. He did have to come down pit road and get his quick repair, but no incident since then, and it's been all Jeff Murray and the driver of the number 23 car. He has led 74 of the last 85 laps.
Yeah, Cothran did lead 7 laps in the early going here. Watkins did lead 2, and Leclerc has led 1 lap here. Everybody else has not led, so only a handful of drivers leading here from Miami as Jeff Murray has now opened up a 6.7 second gap over the driver of the 69 of David Leclerc. Ken Ackley still running here in your 3rd position, but he is going to be 10.5 seconds to the leader. Running in your 4th position, going to be the 41 of Britt Shannon. Raul Alvarez, the man from Spain once again, running in your 5th position. Points leader of Doug Kennedy running in your 6th position. Jeremy Watkins out there in 7th. Tony Cothran in 8th. And Mike Keeler rounding out the field so far here in 9th place. The guy out front who's actually right behind Mike Keeler, Murray's just setting one of those blistering paces. It seems like even on the short runs, he's able to get away from Leclerc, and right now it's up to the biggest lead we've seen here tonight at 7.6 seconds.
Yeah, and he's still trying. It's absolutely amazing. He's out there. He was gathering up some of the draft from the lap down 60 car of Mike Keeler. He's gathering up some of that energy from the draft, and he's going to be looking to put a pass on here, probably down the straightaway. And man, it's been interesting to watch Murray. Absolutely flawless race here so far.
Yeah, the man started on the pole. He did lose the lead on the first lap, I believe, if I remember correctly. You know, it's been 89 laps ago, as he did fall back. And then once that little scuffle between Leclerc and Cawthron happened there, he took the lead back and hasn't let it go really since, other than green flag pit stops where he's let Watkins and Leclerc and Watkins and Leclerc lead a lap here and there, but practically out front, just dominating fashion. We're only gonna have 60 laps to go this time at the line.
Yeah, this one is winding down quick already, as we've done, and working lap 91 is Murray. And again, absolutely flawless race. You know, I say flawless, like you mentioned, and you did point out, he started on the pole, lost a couple positions, and then after the scuffle early on, was able to gather it back up. But we're talking the line that he's running, we're talking pit stop strategy, we're talking coming down on the pit road, which sometimes is a chore of these cars. If you lock up the brakes, you can just as easily spin out. So he's doing a great job leading this race, and the gap now 7.9 seconds.
There's a little action right behind these two. That's going to go between the number 60 of Mike Keeler, and I believe that's Doug Kennedy right there. Both those drivers a lap down, not battling each other on track per se for position, but Doug Kennedy's only one lap down, and he can see the leader in his sight, so he kind of wants to be able to get there and get around him.
Yeah, Doug would love to get that lap back. You know, he's going for the championship win here tonight. Would love to do it on the lead lap if he can, and he's doing everything that he can to try and do that in his way. Mike Keeler and our leader, Jeff Murray.
Jeff Murray now has a 8.3 second gap back to David Leclerc. Leclerc also just kind of back here by himself, because you got to go almost 4 seconds back till you find Ken Ackley. Ackley, you know, doing what he can, trying to just stay up here towards the front of this field, hoping that maybe Murray can make a mistake coming down pit road. Maybe Leclerc could get caught up in one of the slower cars and can't get around him. As you see a little fog rolling in on the camera, actually, maybe a little overcast here now.
Yeah, all of a sudden the shadows are rolling in, and that could change the track a little bit.
Yeah, we all know that iRacing just put in this dynamic cloud cover, dynamic weather. So, excuse me, as the clouds roll through, it might be cloudy in turns 3 and 4. But once you get over to turns 1 and 2, it could be sunny again. 2 different track states, 2 different corners. As I just saw a pass there on my screen, Rich Shannon coming down pit road right now. He's gonna short pit this time, see if he can beat some of these guys out. He'll be the first one on pit road on the lead lap, as he's actually going to lose a lap, as Jeff Murray did just go by him a moment ago.
This may not be a bad move either. We've been talking about extending yourself out on track, but if he pits now, he's only got one more pit stop he's going to have to make, and it could be a quick one. It could be just for fuel, so it's something to watch for. Shannon definitely changing things up a little bit most of the way through this race with only 52 laps to go.
Not sure what happened right now, but Ken Ackley was way off the pace coming off turn 2. It caught my eye when I was looking at timing and scoring, as he was like 60 miles an hour slower than everybody else, as Raul Alvarez went right around him. And now it looks like he's coming down pit road. He's going to bring that car to get service. Let's see as we go on board, is he even running? He's in first gear, so the car must be running, but you barely hear the RPMs. You see about 5,500 RPMs on first gear with this car right now.
And Raul Alvarez is also on pit road, so those two deciding to take advantage of it. And I think everybody right now figured out that if they come down now, they can do it in one more pit stop. So let's try and get some speed, try and catch Jeff Murray sleeping out there. And if they can do that, hey, they're going to go fast right now, because Murray's been out there for 32 laps. And Murray decides he's coming down. He is on the access road right now.
Your leader, Doug Murray, hitting the access road here on lap 100. 50 laps to go here. He's going to bring it down. You see him lock the tires up as he comes down pit road, as we went on board there with him coming through the entry to pit road. So he's going to bring that number 23 down here, get service done. He knows he's going to have to make one more stop, so he's going to try and make this one a clean one. Maybe possibly split these last 50 laps in half, then and go 25 and 25 and finish her off here. Right now, Murray's going to hit his box there. Let's check over running second. That's going to be Doug Kennedy, and Doug Kennedy has not brought that 88 machine down for attention yet, along with the only other guy down there that looks like the number 19 of Jeremy Watkins, also not bringing that car down just yet. So 2 guys still out there. That's going to be Kennedy and Watkins, going to fall into third, not going to quite get around Murray, but right now it looks like Doug Kennedy, he's going to bring that machine down, this time down pit road. You see him coming to the access road. That's going to hand the lead back over once again. Right there, he goes right around him in one moment. Right there it is. He's going to go around Doug Kennedy and retake the lead here.
But by virtue of Kennedy coming down pit road, he surrenders the lead to Jeff Murray. Jeremy Watkins, again, extending his fuel run. He's been out there for 32 laps. He's running in second place right now. He does have to come down pit road. Boy.
It makes you think. It makes you wonder, what is the driver of the 19 exactly thinking here as he's trying to stretch that fuel load as far as he can go. Maybe possibly not having to take on as much fuel at the end of this race here, because he's going to have to make one more pit stop. Possibly just going to lighten the load towards the end of this race. And there you see him. He's diving down pit road right now. He's going to hit that access road. Going to bring that 19 to the attention of the pit crew. Then he's going to probably slot back in, looking like maybe in this 7th position, as those guys are probably going to get around him. And if you look at timing and scoring, not sure. Looks like Ken Ackley really having a bad pit stop as he was running in your 3rd position. Looks like Rich Shannon got around him along with Raul Alvarez, as Kennedy's going to slot into 6th. Now he's going to go 5th as Jeremy Watkins came down pit road.
And I believe that's going to leave us with 5 on the lead lap. So Jeremy Watkins will be the first car a lap down. Yeah, he is out on track. So, Doug Kennedy will be the first car lap down, running in 6th in the 88. That's your points leader coming in tonight, looking to wrap up a championship.
Ken Ackley, who is battling for that championship with Doug Kennedy, he's going to be your first car on the lead lap. As you actually see him, I believe he's battling right there. There he is, out to the outside of 98. That's going to be Jeff Murray. So your leader is right there behind Ken Ackley, trying to put him a lap down. So that's going to leave only 4 cars on the lead lap, as you see the sun making an appearance once again here. Right now, Ackley, though, being able to hold off Jeff Murray. I'm not sure that's, one of those things. Do you race the leader like this, or do you kind of let him go by?
That is the eternal struggle, right? If you don't race him, you go down a lap. If you race him and something happens, you took out the leader, and you feel horrible about that. And certainly nobody wants to do that, but nobody really wants to give up a lap either. My thing, make them work for it for a couple of laps. If they get around you, great. If they're still struggling after a couple of laps, but they're right there, maybe it's time.
108 laps in the book here now. The clock is ticking. The laps are winding down for the season finale. Jeff Murray, setting a blistering pace, has been out there for 98 laps in the lead here tonight. 7 laps for Claughton was led, 2 laps for Watkins, and Leclerc has led 1 lap. Watkins led his laps, as right there you actually see Kennedy's going to go a lap down, Ackley's going to go a lap down, but he's going to battle back on the outside. He's not going to let Murray just, put him a lap down and run away. Is that easy? This isn't the only lap traffic that Jeff Murray's going to have to deal with just in a couple of laps. They're going to run down. It looks like Tony Claughton is up here, as you see him weaving, trying to break the draft. Not sure who the driver is right behind him on track. Let's see if we can... nope, wrong guy. It looks like that's Jeremy Watkins was right behind him. I lie once again. That's actually Doug Kennedy.
So all of that said, Murray is up front, and Leclerc is sitting tight in second spot. He's 12 seconds back from the leader, but running in second, nothing wrong there. Rich Shannon, we saw him battling earlier with Ackley having trouble on pit road or just before, and now Rich Shannon has third place all to himself. Raul Alvarez sitting in fourth place in the number 9 car, and then we get back to Ken Ackley. Ken is running that number 98, and Ken is currently running in 5th, and he had actually just gotten right back around Jeff Murray, so right now Ackley is actually on the lead lap. Doug Kennedy in the 88, he's running in 6th place. That's your current points leader. He's the one that has everything to win here tonight. Jeremy Watkins in the 19, he's running in 7th. And Tony Cothran, we saw him earlier. He was battling with Leclerc. Tony had the unfortunate mishap and went into the wall. Hasn't been able to recover. There's been no cautions to recover from. So he is sitting in 8th place. Mike Keller, that yellow number 60, is bringing up the rear of the field. He's running in 9th.
Yeah, and if you look just behind him, that's going to be your leader, the 23 of Jeff Murray. So Murray really putting on one heck of a show. If you go on board, we see Keeler right there in front of him. So once the 23 of Murray gets to him, that's going to put Keeler in, looks like 5 laps down. Lothran's not that far ahead of him. So, I mean, there's only 4 guys on the lead lap right now. That's going to be Murray, your leader, Leclerc, who's 2nd, Shannon, who's running 3rd, and Alvarez, who's running 4th. On board as you see your leader here, Jeff Murray, trying to get around Mike Keeler as he's going to go to the inside here, going to the corner, and Keeler going to just let him go pretty much. He knows that's the leader. He knows being in 9th place, there's no reason or rhyme to battle with Jeff Murray. Jeff Murray now has led 106 laps here from Homestead. He just keeps knocking them down.
Lap 118 of 150, the top 2 drivers, Jeff Murray and David Leclerc, they're in the positions they started this race in. And then in 3rd place, you have Rich Shannon, driver of the number 41. He's up 5 positions from where he started, in 8th up to 3rd now. Raul Alvarez is up 2 positions in 4th. And then everybody else is either kind of where they started or down a little bit. Ken Ackley down a lap, running 5th. Doug Kennedy down 1 lap, running in 6th. Jeremy Watkins down 1 lap, running in 7th. Tony Cothran down 3 laps, running in 8th. And Mike Keeler, we saw that last pass from the leader, putting him down 5 laps, running in 9th.
So good racing so far here from Miami as we have been green flagged for 120 laps. We only saw 1 guy spin towards the grass there. It did get into the inside wall. He's able to continue on as that was Tony Clothran. He's out there on track, couple laps down, but still out here turning laps. I mean, at that point, if you're in Clothran's shoes, you're out here gaining experience.
Nothing beats seat time in these cars. It's important. And, you know, just next month, they're going to be starting 2019 season. So why not stick out here, get that experience, maybe try and learn something going into the next season and take it with you and try and get a little further ahead than you have so far this season. And, man, that's what he's doing. He's out there running laps.
Guy who's running laps quicker than anybody here on the timing and scoring is still Jeff Murray. I mean, I don't know how many times we can just talk about Jeff Murray just leading the way out here, but just leading the way. He's beating everybody hands down as he's now got a 13.1 second gap back to David Leclerc. As actually I'm looking at timing and scoring, that car that you see right behind your leader, that's Raul Alvarez, so he's going to be a lap down, so that's going to leave only 3 guys, only 2 more guys that Jeff could even possibly pass here, and he's actually not that far behind Shannon. Shannon's just like a half a straightaway ahead of Murray right now, so he's going to be victim here towards the closing laps. If you look up at the time or at your lap counter, this is lap 124. So here, within another lap or two, you might possibly be seeing these guys short pit. We know we're going to see Shannon for sure here in possibly 2 laps because he was the first one to short pit, and he has 28 laps now as he crosses the start-finish line on his stent. So look for Shannon to be the first one down pit road, possibly trying to sneak one out here away from Murray.
Murray has led 114 laps so far. Behind him, Leclerc. Leclerc's led 1 lap. It was the initial lap of the race. He was able to get around and actually lead that one. And then him and Coughlin got into a little bit of trouble. Coughlin with the worst end of that. Now running 3 laps down. Leclerc still sitting in second. And I am keeping an eye on Rich Shannon, still out there. His tire's now 30 laps old, so he's been out there for a fairly long stint.
As actually, there he comes. He's going to hit the access road this time by, as you see on screen. He's going to bring the 41 down for some fuel and tires, and he's going to possibly try and steal one away here from Jeff Murray. So he's going to be the first one on pit road. This strategy worked for him the last 2 pit stops. He was your first guy on pit road, and he's gained a couple positions. Now let's see where he's going to come out. So right now here on lap 128, he's bringing that machine down pit road. He'll be the first guy. Well, Jeremy Watkins actually was in 3 laps ago, but he is 3 laps down. Rich Shannon 1 lap down, so he's the closest guy to being in contention. Let's see as Jeff Murray's coming around. Jeff Murray was actually in the wall right there coming off turn 4. You saw that car all out of shape. He's going to hang on to her, but how much damage did he do is putting those right side tires up into the wall?
Well, if he bent that car at all, and it doesn't look like he did from what I can see, but if he did, he does have a quick repair that he can use, and what a time to have it towards the end of this one when you've got the lead. Maybe just a minor miscue. Sometimes that happens when you're out front like he has been for so long. You kind of miss it a little bit, and at least this time it didn't hurt the car too badly, it doesn't look like. And he'll probably come down pit road to hit that quick repair button just in case and be back out there. But back out on track is Rich Shannon. He's trying to get that 41 machine back up to speed before too much more damage is done. He is now being scored 2 laps down as we are waiting for pit stops to cycle through.
Raul Alvarez was on pit road, as you see him right there. He's back out on track though. David Leclerc was down pit road, and actually he's still there. He's still on pit road right now, getting his last dash of fuel, if you will. Doug Murray's still out there, and Doug Kennedy's out there, and Jeff Murray's still out there. Nobody on the lead lap right now other than your leader of Jeff Murray. And Jeff Murray's actually down pit road.
So this is where that early pit stop of Shannon has to come into play. He has to get that lap back right now and try and make a little bit more time on Murray if he's going to have any chance at this one at all.
As you see, Murray did use his quick repair because he did have a little damage there on the right side body of that car. Now it looks nice and clean, like, rolled right off the track, right off the trailer onto the track, as he's going to come back out. Did spend 30.9 seconds, only 7.7 seconds in his box, so not taking on a full fuel load for the driver of the 23 who's out front. Right now, Doug Kennedy, though, still out here in the 88. Shown back on the lead lap, but not by much. He's going to be second, but he really needs to bring that number 88 down pit road. He's been out there 31 laps now.
After pit stop cycle through, it looks like it will be Murray, Leclerc, and Shannon, but Kennedy still out there running in second spot. Has not come down pit road yet. Now he is. He is on the access road. So Doug Kennedy on pit road.
That's going to hand the second position back over to the driver of the 69 as he's coming right around turns 4 right now. He will retake that position and go back into second. Doug Kennedy going to fall. Rich Shannon should be the guy in third place here on the lead lap. Let's find out where he is. He's right there. Not that far ahead of the leader, but he is still on your lead lap right now.
We've got 16 laps to go, and I'm looking at Shannon. Right now, he's about 4 seconds behind Leclerc. Leclerc about 13.5 seconds behind Murray. So if he's got a chance at anything, it'll be for second spot unless something happens to Murray. Rich Shannon on the move. And I'll tell you that he's had some interesting pit strategies here tonight. He's worked his way up 5 different positions to get to where he is now. Can he squeeze one more out of this? Can he try and catch David Leclerc for second spot? That kind of time, 4 seconds, that's pretty tough to do, Roger.
4 seconds is definitely one of the hardest things to do. But Shannon's had the momentum of recent here. And in the later stages with the pit strategy he's deployed. So I'm sure he won't hang his head if he walks away with a third place finish, as he did start 8th here tonight and has worked his way strategically through the field. The man on the mission who's not far behind Shannon, that's going to be Jeff Murray in the 23 as he comes across the line. Now we have 13 laps to go here for the season finale.
The Ohio IndyCar League here on MaxSpeedTV. Thank you all for coming out and watching. This has been a real good race. All green flag laps. And it's not too hard to say, all Jeff Murray, as he's led 127 laps so far here tonight, and he's looking to make 12 more as we have 12 laps to go.
12 laps to go from the season finale. Murray almost getting up into the wall off turn 2 is he's not backing off the throttle. He's still giving it all he can out here tonight. He's just out here at this point. I believe he's having fun, maybe showing off a little bit.
If you lead 129 laps and more as he's continuing around the track, you're allowed to show off a little bit. I'm pretty sure that's in the rule book.
It could possibly be in the rule book. You know, I'm one of those guys. I don't read the rule book. I just, you know, fly off the cusps, if you will. You know, let me do my own thing. And that's pretty much what Murray's out there doing. He's going to do his own thing as he's now looking to go around Tony Clothrin, put Tony down 4 laps. As Clothrin's going to go high and get out of the way of Murray. He's going to work around him, no problem. Now Murray's going to set his eyes on the number 41 of Shannon, who's right there in front of him. There he is. That gap now, is Murray going to be the guy that says, I'm going to lap as many guys as I can tonight, or is he just going to sit there and let Shannon finish in his 3rd place, finish on the lead lap?
Well, as he dives down below, I don't believe he's going to sit anywhere. He is trying to move forward. I think he's trying to be that guy that laps everybody.
Well, with the pace that he's been putting up here tonight, he's on verge of doing it. If he can just run down Leclerc at this point, he can put the whole entire field a lap down. But with only 8 laps to go, I'm not sure if he's gonna have enough time to put Dave Leclerc a lap down. He's just putting on one blistering pace, and there's not much more you can really say about the driver of the 23. Guys from Pittsburgh, guys out here, you know, putting on one heck of a show. Oh, Chris, he does have a biological twin.
I hope his twin isn't on iRacing too. That's all I can say. We don't need 2 Jeff Murrays out here. I could not hang with this guy, I'm going to tell you right now. I don't even think, I don't think KR could hang with this guy either. KR is pretty good in these cars.
Well, KR's all talk because Jeff Murray's the man who's out here. KR's talking. He's not out here racing these guys, and Murray is. So Murray coming down here, 6 laps to go as you see Rich Shannon just kind of riding in Jeff Murray's wake at this point. You know, not really putting up a fight to go back around him. One guy on the lead lap, that's going to be Dave Leclerc. Let's check in and see where Dave Leclerc is. Dave's out here running. He just went past the start-finish line now, 14 seconds behind the leader. So he's a half a track behind or half a track ahead. Kind of just sitting there in limbo by himself, nobody around the driver of the 69.
David Leclerc doing what he's going to need to do to finish in second here tonight. Murray doing just a fantastic job. Has led 135 with 5 to go. And unless something happens, looks like he's going to walk away with this one. And Rich Shannon, starting in 8th tonight, he's going to end up probably with a 3rd place finish. Raul Alvarez having a really nice run, also going to finish up from where he started tonight in 4th place.
Yeah, but the battle that we've been talking about all race long, yeah, it's Jeff Murray out front. But there was a points battle here on the line tonight between the driver of the 88 and the driver of the 98. That's going to be Kennedy 88, Ackley in the 98. Right now, Kennedy's doing what he has to do, which was run a clean race out here tonight and keep Ackley in his sights. Right now, Kennedy running in 6th. Ackley's going to be running in 5th. Those drivers are going to finish like that because they're not really near each other unless something happens. And at this point, if something happens, it's really going to be a shakeup with 3 laps to go. So Doug Kennedy, I don't want to jinx the man, but I'm going to say it's looking pretty much like he's going to come away with the championship this year.
Yeah, I'm glad you're the one that said it and not me. I hate to throw that curse out with 2 laps to go, and man, I just don't want to do that.
Well, I'll be the man, I'll be the man that's going to call it. 2 laps to go this time for Jeff Murray. He's looking to set his sights on being the winner here in the season finale. Right there, he crosses the line once again. The final lap here for the Ohio IndyCars for the 2018 season. Jeff Murray possibly looking to be your winner here. Doug Kennedy looking to be the champion. We're going to have 2 winners here tonight. He's going to work down the backstretch into turn 3 and 4. Jeff Murray for the last time. He's going to come out of turn 4 to lead 140 laps here from Miami. Jeff Murray going to take the victory here from Miami.
Jeff Murray with the win, and David Leclerc in the 69 getting set to come across the start-finish line to wrap up his 2nd place finish here tonight, and does. Next will be the 41 of Rich Shannon, and he's going around turns 3 and 4 right now, hopping onto the front stretch. The last thing he's got to do is cross that start-finish line at 3rd place for Rich Shannon, and Paul Alvarez is going to end up in 4th here tonight. So, again, good finish for him. Ackley and Kennedy put on a pretty good show. They ended up 1st and 2nd, I believe, in points, and separated only by a position here. But Doug Kennedy, what a season.
Absolutely. Well, ladies and gentlemen, the racing may be over on track. Jeff Murray going to be the winner, but Doug Kennedy going to be your points champion here for the Ohio IndyCar League in 2018. Don't go anywhere. We're going to get to your post-race interviews here from the Miami Speedway as you see Jeff Murray going to burn her down. Well, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. You just watched the Ohio IndyCar go green flag, racing for 150 laps here from Homestead-Miami. And what a race we had. We had a guy who dominated out there for 140 laps led. But we're going to not be able to talk to your winner, Jeff Murray. He's not here in TeamSpeak with us tonight. And your third place finisher, who is the 41 of Rich Shannon, also not being able to talk with us. But Chris, let's talk a moment here about the driver of the 41. He's not here to talk for himself, but Rich Shannon started towards the back here in 8th place tonight. We know there was only 9 cars out on track, but Rich started in 8th. He's going to bring that 41 home third. He had some great strategy out there with his pit choices tonight.
Yeah, he had a different strategy that he employed over the rest of the drivers. A couple of times he stretched his fuel mileage out. Then he started doing something a little different. He was the first car to short pit, and that really was the thing that put him up into the position where he ended up finishing in the third. Short pitting, he was finding some speed, and it's an unfortunate thing that he's not here to talk. I would have loved to have talked to him tonight and congratulated him on his third place finish, but I believe that it was his pit strategy that got him there, up 5 positions, as you said, from where he started in 8th.
Yeah, coming home in third, going to be the driver of the 41, Rich Shannon. Unfortunately, not able to talk to him, but pitch strategy is what got him that third place victory. But Chris, I believe you have caught up with the guy who is here in TeamSpeak to talk to us.
Yeah, driver of the number 69, David Leclerc. This is Chris. Do you have a copy?
I do, guys. Good evening.
Good evening to you. Hey, congratulations on your second place finish. That's got to be a load off, man. That was a heck of a good race for you.
Yeah, thanks, guys. I don't know what Jeff, he had something special in his gas tank, man. He was just, once he got by me, he just took off like a rocket ship. But congrats to him, man. He's definitely good at this track for sure.
It did look like he had about 400 more horsepower and about 500 pounds less weight than other drivers out there tonight. Listen, you led 1 lap here tonight. I believe, if I remember right, it was the first lap, and then there was some contact, and then kind of relegated you back into that second position. And can you remember that well enough to kind of talk about what happened there?
Yeah, I do remember it, but like you say, it was kind of a long way back in the race. But I think it was kind of my fault. I did kind of make a bit of contact and spin him sideways a bit, and it's kind of set us both back. But it set him back a lot more than me. But yeah, that's never a good thing. But I kept on pressing on and got a second out of it.
Well, that's what you have to do. You can't stop. You just can't stop. You got to keep going forward, and you certainly did that. Ended up finishing second. Is there anybody on the car that you'd like to thank tonight?
I'd like to thank Doug, man. He did a great job all year trying to keep this league together, and hopefully we can get enough guys for next season and make it even more exciting. Thanks, you guys, for covering it, and you did a great job again tonight. Thank you, guys.
Thank you. And that was the driver that brought it home second place tonight, Roger. That was David Leclerc.
Well, another guy out here tonight that we should be interviewing because he put on one heck of a show. That's going to be Jeff Murray. Unfortunately, Jeff Murray not able to come speak with us. Murray led 140 laps here from Miami. He's going to be taking home the hardware here for the final race for the Ohio IndyCar League. So congratulations to Jeff. I mean, you heard it from Dave right there. The 23 probably had something special in his gas tank. They're probably going to have to go dip it after this. Maybe he had a softer tire compound, because anything the 23 wanted to do tonight, he did.
For sure, for sure. I followed Jeff for a long time there, and I'll tell you what, he's got his line down just perfect every single lap.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, congratulations to Jeff Murray. Unfortunately, not able to get a word in with him. But the guy who we do have here with us tonight, that's going to be the driver of the 88, Doug Kennedy. Doug, first, we got to give you a congratulations. You're going to walk away being the 2018 Ohio IndyCar League champion.
Well, it was a great year, you guys. It was really just by showing up and racing each week. We have a good core of guys. I happen to place pretty high in a lot of races. I didn't win any, But just placing high, you get a lot of points, and you're eligible for that money at the end. And I've got to say, I've got to backtrack a little bit here. You know, Jeff is kind of an underrated driver here. You know, he stays a little bit south of the radar, but when he races well, I'll tell you what, he's a very good driver, and David as well. You know, those top two guys there are tough every single week.
Yeah, as we see, they were tough here tonight, coming home first and second. But Doug, you know, we haven't broadcasted, you know, myself or Chris personally, you guys out here for the Ohio IndyCar League. Tell us a little bit of what happened this season. Backtrack, as this was the 7th race of your season, the final race of the season. Tell us what happened in your, you know, previous 6 races.
Well, we had some really tight, strong, competitive races. So, like I said, we have a real good core of guys. They come out, they race hard. This just by chance is the only one that we never had a caution. This by far was our best race of the season. But we've had strong races. We've had the guys really show up. Our last race with KR at the helm there at the broadcasting booth, that was a knuckle buster, you know, just sweaty palm kind of a race, nonstop. So I gotta hand it to these guys. They really race hard. We have a lot of guys in the league. A lot of guys don't show up. We're still working on that, but it's a great fun league.
Yeah, as you talk about this being a fun league, the racing looked fun out there. I kind of wish, you know, maybe I was out on the track myself. But now this is going to wrap up 2018. You're not just, you know, you got a couple hats over here. You're going to be the points champion, but also you're the owner over here. So tell us what's in store for everybody who's out there watching here on YouTube. What's in store for 2019?
Well, we're hoping that we can grow a little bit. I mean, we've got to grow. We've got to get the guys. It's still, I mean, I might change the format a little bit, but I mean, these guys are winning money in this league, and I don't think that's the only reason that they come out and race, but they have a good chance of winning some cash. I think Jeff won about $32 here tonight, so that's good money available. The pot grows with as the field grows, and it's just fun, you know. I hope we can get a better turnout. I plan on kind of going the same path. We race one time a month, which is different, but it gives the guys a month to get going and get things cleared in their schedule, and Max Speed, I hope, can follow us along.
Absolutely. Well, we're here for you guys anytime, as this is the Ohio IndyCar, and we are MaxSpeedTV. We have a great partnership between this league and everybody over here. As like you said, we've had KR broadcast for you. You know, I believe Josh has broadcast for you a couple times, and well, now Chris and I are here to save the day for the season finale, as you guys put on one heck of a show. But hey, congratulations once again, Doug. You're gonna walk away with the championship here tonight. So hopefully we see you, and hopefully you can back that up next season.
Great. I really think we have a good relationship here. I love MaxSpeedTV. I think you guys do a great job. It's tough to come in and not know us and not know the league, but you guys are seasoned professionals. I can't wait to watch this tonight.
Absolutely. Well, thanks for coming up and talking with us. But Chris, that's gonna about do it for us here from Miami with the Ohio IndyCar League. Let's run through this the unofficial results here. Coming home in first, leading 140 laps tonight, going to be Jeff Murray in the 23. Coming home second, you heard the man here on air, the driver of the 69, David Leclerc. Third place here tonight is going to be the 41 of Rich Shannon. The man from overseas, the driver of the number 9, Raul Alvarez, coming home fourth. Ken Ackley in the 98 coming home in your 5th position. Doug Kennedy, your points leader, your points champion, coming home in 6th. Jeremy Watkins in the 19 coming home in 7th. Tony Cothran, unfortunately, having a little bit of issues there, a little scuffle in the beginning of the race. That dropped Tony behind from the start. He's going to come home 8th, though. And the driver of the 60, Mike Keeler, going to come home 9th. So that's what happened here from Miami with the Ohio IndyCar League. Jeff Murray running away, 140 laps led. Not that much, no yellows, I should say. They went green flag, 150 laps. That's just some great racing here. But for everybody at Max Speed TV, everybody from the Ohio IndyCar League, we thank you guys for tuning in here tonight, and that's going to wrap it up for us. We hope to see you in 2019 here on Max Speed TV.